China unveiled a bureaucratic revamp on Sunday in an effort to foster a more transparent and efficient government. Hello and welcome to Voice and Votes 2013, providing you in-depth reports on China's annual NPC and CPPCC political meetings. I'm Andrew Xing here in Beijing. Coming up,
there are changes that we can learn from one another, and
we talk to Iceland's ambassador to China about her views on China's government institutional reform. At the annual session of the country's top legislature on March 10th, State Councillor Ma Kai proposed to dismantle the Ministry of Railways to reduce bureaucracy and improve service efficiency. According to Ma's report, the proposed China Railway Cooperation will perform the commercial operations. The State Railways Administration will fulfill administrative functions under supervision of the Ministry of Transport. The Ministry of Railways has been both a policymaker and a service provider since it was established in 1948. Some people call it a self-governed kingdom. If the proposal is adopted, it will be the end of an era. China is also planning to set up a National Health and Family Planning Commission by merging the existing Health Ministry with the National Population and Family Planning Commission. The General Administration of Press and Publication and the State Administration of Radio, Film and Television will be integrated into a single regulatory authority. The proposed General Administration of Food and Drug will replace a large group of overlapping regulators. The new administration will have similar functions to the Food and Drug Administration of the United States. Now, let's hear from our special guest today, Iceland's ambassador to China, about her views on China's latest institutional reform. Stay with us. In this year's NPC and CPPCC meetings, a lot of issues will be addressed, of course, and some of the heated discussions include anti-corruption, education reform, and house pricing reform, and even government organization reform. So, Ambassador, which of the specific areas are most of interest to you?
They are, in fact, all of interest, but if I were to name one, then probably I would say structural changes, government structural changes, and the reorganization of some of the organs of the party and the state. Well, transparency of government is a very important thing in my mind. And as an example, I can tell you that yesterday the Minister of Interior from Iceland was here visiting and had meetings with SAIC, State Administration for Industry and Commerce, where he explained, and both explained, their system for consumer protection and measures that have been taken in that respect. He, for example, explained new changes in Iceland, where all issues that regard consumers are now under the umbrella of the Ministry of Interior, and consumer issues are no longer part of what the Ministry of Industry deals with. So there are changes that we can learn from one another, and there need to be constant re-evaluation where consumer issues, citizen issues, transparency, progress where that is directed towards a more equilibrium are taken. Well, I have to look at things as a guest. I can't read Chinese, so my observations are limited to dialogues, conversation, and what I read from analysts and in the newspapers, and of course with meetings, from meetings that I have with officials. So I understand that people are waiting to see changes. And it takes time to make changes, and I'm not making excuses, definitely not. But now that we have a new leadership, or will have in the next few weeks a new leadership in place, I think one should expect changes and that things will be sped up a little.
Ambassador, thanks very much indeed for joining me in the program. Thanks.
My pleasure. Good luck to you.
Well, let's take a quick look at the poll result from the previous topic. Poll result is kindly provided by China Daily Mobile News. The last topic was a political advisor, Ling Feng, is proposing to actually legalize the Natural Death Act to alleviate pain and suffering for patients with untreatable diseases. We have received 2017 feedbacks from our audience. 72.8% of the votes support Ling's idea that a Natural Death Act should be passed, and 13.6% of them are actually against the proposal, and we have another 13.6% stayed neutral. Here's a good one response from our audience, actually from Tianjin. He said patients should have a legal right to decide whether to receive life-prolonging medical treatments. The Natural Death Act, if passed, will allow them to end the painful and ineffective treatment. Thus, the economic burden of the patient's family would be reduced, and also the limited medical resources could be utilized in the treatment for those in urgent need. All right, let's take a look at today's topic. A recent survey conducted by CCTV suggests that Chinese women are happier than men. 55% of female respondents felt fairly happy or very happy, compared with only 45% of male respondents. China Mobile users can text your response to 1065 8000 7835. Smartphone users can also comment on our respective iPhone and Android applications. Until then, bye-bye.